Hey guys, how's it going? My name's Oscar Mikey, and yes, today is my interview with ᴍᴏ. He is the director over at Underdog, the development team making Sievert 2. If you've been keeping an eye on the channel for the past couple of weeks, I've made a couple of posts asking you guys for your questions, anything you want to know about Sievert 2, I would try and ask ᴍᴏ in the interview. And now it's finally here. I got some interesting information for you guys about Sievert 2. Make sure to check out the description. There will be a couple of links down there to the Sievert channel and the Underdog development YouTube channel, which is brand new. They're going to be posting development, like devlog style videos as they're making Sievert 2. I want to say thank you to ᴍᴏ and Underdog for giving me a little bit of time to discuss Sievert 2 and record it and share the information with you guys. But without any further ado, let's get into the interview. Thank you for joining me. I really appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule. This is ᴍᴏ. He is the game director, the lead game director on Sievert 2 for Underdog, and he's kind of the man when it comes to ZS2, and he's got all the info that I want. So I'm going to be drilling him with some questions today. I guess I just want to start with like the lore about Sievert 2, like what does Zacov look like now, and like what can we expect from the kind of landscape of the game and how the story is progressing? Like, is it going to be like a linear progression of the story from the first one?
Yeah, we want to tie the two games more together. Sievert 1 is quite light on story, but it has some interesting bits. So we want to expand on that, both on in Sievert 2. So we want to kind of get some of those little tidbits of story and lore and kind of expand on those concepts. But we want to also go back to Sievert 1 and add some content that kind of will tie the game to Sievert 2.
Okay.
So we are working on both games on that kind of front. So Sievert 2 is set a number of years after Sievert 1. We still kind of need to decide the time frame, but it's long enough that essentially there is a new generation of young people, young adults, and they grew up after the incident, so they are basically the first
generation of people growing up in the zone.
Yes, exactly.
I had a couple of questions about that. I want to ask you later on, because I noticed I was scrolling through the AMA, the Reddit AMA again, and I noticed there were a couple of tidbits in there about like the generational stuff, and I want to get to that later. But yeah, that's awesome. Mm-hmm. I guess I want to jump in, like, I guess the biggest, well, at least one of the biggest headlining features of this game is co-op. So we're getting 4-player co-op.
Yep.
I have two questions I want to lead with, actually. Completely unrelated. They're completely separate questions. We don't need to connect them whatsoever. Will there be friendly fire in the game? That's question number one. And second question is, can I loot my dead friends?
Yes and yes.
Okay, all right.
So yeah, yes, there will be friendly fire in the game, will be toggable, and probably will also have a damage multiplier on it, so that maybe like by default the damage is not like full damage, for example.
Okay.
But it will be just like the first game, we will have a ton of options in the settings so that you can customize your game. But there will be definitely like a way to toggle it on and off.
Yeah.
Although obviously things like grenades and explosive and molotovs and whatnot they will still hurt you even if friendly fire is off.
Yeah.
And you can loot your friends. Absolutely, you can do also like you kind of have to, because if they die mid-raid and they have an important item on them or something, like you need to loot their corpse and extract. So
I have to. I can't. I can't not do it. That's innocent loot left behind, man. I can't do that. Will I be able to revive them in any way? Like, is there like a down state, or maybe even after they die, can I get them back up with some kind of special medical item or something like that?
Yes. There is a DBNO state, the down but no out. So in that state, essentially, I'm using this terminology because I worked on the Gears of War games, and that's what it was called on those games, and it kind of stuck with me since then. But yes, you can revive teammates, and probably there will be but obviously like a time window, but also like a limit on how many times you can revive a teammate.
Okay.
So that probably by default you can go down one time per raid, and then the second time, no matter what happens, basically you're just gonna die. It's mostly to avoid that kind of situation where if you are playing really sloppily, like you enter that kind of loop where people in co-op games, it often happens that you kind of go forward and then someone gets in it needs to be revived, and then someone else goes down, and you enter this loop where you're basically constantly reviving each other. It's kind of at some point the game needs to punish you.
There has to be some kind of risk. You have to be able to lose, or else it's not really fun, right?
Exactly.
Will there be, I mean, let's be honest, like 99% of us do chat over Discord, like, or similar apps, but will there be like integrated proximity chat or VoIP or text chat in the game for co-op?
Yes, VoIP and probably also text chat are going to be in. We still need to play with the proximity chat features and kind of understand really what it adds to the game or not. If we do proximity chat, we probably want to also like a radio style maybe filter, so that maybe we are mostly gonna use it to kind of have like a kind of a localized like 3D kind of spatial kind of sounding.
Yeah, that's really cool. I like that. And then when they get too far away, it'll be like a radio.
Yes, exactly. Something like that. I think that is more kind of so that it feels more like an in-world in a way, but still you can still talk with each other even if you are far away. I think that's probably the best kind of scenario.
What about I know in a lot of games developers they'll try and keep everybody together. I know maybe it has something to do with technical limitations or something, but like if you try to go too away from your squad, you'll just get teleported back, or they'll get teleported to you or something like that. Will players be able to explore the map, kind of go way off in different corners and do different things separate from each other, or will we have to like stay together?
Yeah, absolutely. They will be able to do even like the entire raid without seeing each other, essentially.
Wow.
So yeah, once the map is loaded, you can explore it. You can loot things. You can even enter a building while someone else is like outside. So you will just be able to do whatever you want to do. But then you can track your friends on the PDA, essentially. So in the map, you can see where they are.
Yeah, so we can like divide and conquer. Okay, you two go, you kill that boss over there while we go over here and get this objective or whatever. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yes. You can even have different quests or different things. So you can even be like, hey, I have this scientist quest on me or whatever. So someone can go and finish their objective while you work on something else.
I guess that would be another one of my questions as far as like questing goes and co-op sort of progression. Like how does that work? Like say if I have a quest to kill a certain like number of enemies or something like that, do I have to do that objective specifically to complete it for myself, or like if somebody else in the squad happens to do it just on their own, does that complete the objective for me, or like how's that going to work?
Essentially, quests are personal, but at the same time, so you can still have the same quest. So if you are like going through the story, for example, you can have the same quest and complete the same objectives. But at the same time, also a friend can help on your quest, and not necessarily even if they don't have that quest. So let's say if you have a kill this specific group of bandits, for example, it really just matters that those bandits are dead and not that you killed all of them yourself.
Okay.
But at the same time, if a quest has a generic objective like kill 5 ghouls, that counter is obviously personal. So it's more of that kind of if you have a specific objective to do, like clear up the village or the bridge or whatever, or versus kill 100 of these things.
Right. It's like these guys over here, these specific guys need to be dead, and then once they're dead, the mission is complete. Versus like find these items or find these enemies and kill them. That's kind of a different style of quest. I get you. Okay. So when people squad up, how is the lobbying gonna work? Or like when people join together, I think we in the AMA you talked a little bit about, everybody is going to have their own kind of like separate rooms to kind of like go back to and sort out their stuff. And then are people going to be able to trade in like the bar area? Can we like share items and stuff like that? How's that going to work?
Yes, so the bunker is a shared hub. So essentially when you connect to each other, you spawn in the bunker. And you have like all the NPCs there and traders and whatnot. But you also have your own room. So you have your own area, let's say, of the bunker that you can customize. And that is there is a lift, essentially, that you will be able to interact with that will bring you to your room, your base.
Cool. Yeah.
So that is inside the bunker. So you can go around Sievert and you can chat with NPC, you can chat with your friends, and you can also go to your friends' rooms as well. So
sweet.
You can also like visit their room, and that essentially travels with you and your character. So if you have essentially your own like single player save game, you can still connect and use that character and bring your room with you.
Oh, awesome!
Into another game and kind of continue there a little, gain some more loot, more experience, and then continue your single player campaign.
Oh, that's cool. That's really awesome. That's a lot of stuff. That's a lot of information about co-op. I kind of want to change gears a little bit and talk about AI now. I mean, I've been thinking a lot about the Stalker franchise because I've been streaming it a lot. I've been streaming Stalker Anomaly with the Gamma mod pack, really into that lately. Got me thinking about AI for Sievert 2 and what improvements are coming over there, because I'm sure AI is like a really big kind of selling point or like feature of the Stalker franchise, the A-Life system. What kinds of improvements or like changes can we expect with the AI for ZS2?
Yeah, I think the original game had a little bit of an attempt. I think that Luca is a big Stalker fan, and essentially I checked the code, and there are some bits where the AI does things like they try to patrol between points in the map and do things like that. And this is also like what triggers the infighting between factions and things like that. And we definitely want to keep that, and we have that in Sievert 2. We are also expanding on what the enemies can do. They have a proper perception system now, so they can hear like different types of sound as well.
Okay.
So like you can actually throw like bolts and objects and things, and
that's very cool.
Will emit sounds.
Yeah.
And so they are a little bit less of a kind of a switch. Let's say they can go and investigate essentially something. It's not like in Sievert 1, basically they either don't know about you or they know about you and they chase you. That is the kind of a binary kind of things. So they have now an additional kind of they have an unaware state, they have a suspicion kind of aware kind of state, and then they have a combat state. So they have this kind of three different bigger behaviors. And yes, they will be able to do interact with things in the map. We have a system where there are it's interaction points in the map, and they can go there and do something. So they can start a conversation with another NPC maybe. So there is something that we can script where this NPC will go near a fire and sit down and bark something. So that will be basically dynamic. It will be just we can have these points in the map, and if there is a compatible NPC that walks nearby that point, they can decide to go in and do the interaction. I
got a lot of questions, especially in the early days of ZS1, where how viable is like a stealth playthrough? Can I stealth through this game? And I was like, yeah, I mean a little bit you can sort of, but the AI is kind of like like you said, they're aggro or they're not, and it's kind of tough to do that. But that's really cool to hear.
Yeah, they also have, because obviously they have, you cannot, in Sievert 1, they always, they kind of have two directions, right? They left and right, but the sprite is always like 2D. So you can't really sneak behind them because they don't, there is no direction. While in Sievert 2, you can actually tell if an enemy is facing upward or downward, so you can actually do, and they have a proper kind of cone of vision, so you can actually walk past them without them seeing you.
Yeah, I noticed that in your in the devlog videos, you were showing a little bit of the character art and stuff, and you've made the aesthetic of the character, like when they're turned around, you can see their back and all that stuff. That's really cool. Okay, well, moving on to the maps. How many maps are you guys planning for like early access and 1.0? Are we we're getting some old maps. We know that already, but how many maps are we gonna get for like early access?
We don't have things like set in stone. We really need to see essentially before early access, we want to do like a public demo.
Okay.
Probably for one of the Steam Next Fests, probably more than one demo even. Like we'll probably do like a play test, like a network test, almost like early on. Like that is actually, it's probably gonna be soon-ish.
Okay.
And later we will do like a Steam Next Fest kind of demo. So that one will probably still feature one or two maps. It depends on the kind of community feedback, essentially what we launch with in early access suite, because we can focus on really adding and polishing to a single map or adding more content. So, but we are thinking probably two or three maps for the early access release, and we are thinking of 7 maps for the full for the full release
for 1.0. Okay, cool.
Yeah, and but we are also have some ideas already for even kind of potential post-launch stuff or things that rather than post-launch is like I really want to do, like there is a specific one location that I really want to. I still don't know if it's gonna be its own map essentially, or it's gonna be inside another map.
Okay.
So we have a few locations that probably are kind of too small to do like a full map, but we want to kind of feature them in one of the maps. So even older maps, even maps that are in Sievert 1 will be expanded with some like unique locations that are not in the original.
So I played a bunch of other games in there. I mean, it's similar games to the Sievert franchise. And something I noticed from those other games is there's like interactable things you can do in the map. I mean, there's locked doors you can unlock with keys and stuff, but there's also like, I'm thinking specifically of like Escape from Duckov, for example. Like you can build bridges to give you access to new areas, or you can demolish walls. Is there going to be any like interactivity with the maps in ZS2?
Yes.
Like that?
If you have seen the Steam page, we kind of hint into this kind of map mastery thing.
Yes.
And that is essentially what we want to do. We quite liked those kind of things in games like Duckov, and we want to bring them to Sievert 2, so that there will be some sort of some level of progression within the map, essentially.
Mm-hmm. So can you elaborate on that a little bit? The map mastery was kind of a big one that I wanted to ask you about. I was very curious about that.
It's essentially there will be things that are like tied to. We will have specific NPCs almost per location probably, where they will offer you some quest or rewards if you show them that you really know that location in a way. So it's kind of almost like doing like special little challenges in that specific location. And so there's gonna be like 2 components of this essentially. One is just the let's say story progression or the normal progression through a map, where maybe you unlock a specific location. So the first time around, there is a part of the map that is closed, but then after completing a quest or something, you enter a lab or something that was like closed before, and now or you destroyed a specific wall, and now you can actually access that location even on like later raids. So there is that component, and there is also this component of essentially doing this kind of little like side quests for NPCs that are gonna be specific to a map.
I was thinking about that pretty much all the time I spent playing ZS1. I was like, man, it would be so cool if we could get more in raid or in like map questing or like stuff to do, like picking things out while we were actually in the raid, instead of mainly getting like a lot of stuff from the traders in the bunker. That's really cool. In terms of seasonal changes, I mean, we have the snow in ZS1 over, I think it's 2 in-game weeks worth of time. We get snow, and then it goes back to summer sunny weather. Are we getting more of those like seasonal changes in ZS2? Is that coming over?
Yes, we want to do that as well. Like feature-wise, I think we will be on par with Sievert 1, but we also are gonna have some maps that they're gonna have their specific conditions. One is peaks, the snowy map, and that one will always be essentially the snowy. And probably a few others, they will have like special conditions, quote unquote.
I was surprised when I played ZS1 for the first time, and it took me some time to get used to it, how the inventory and loot management works, because if I were to equip a different backpack that can carry more weight, we still have the same cell size and stuff. I'm not hating on it or anything, but it took some time to get used to after playing games like Tarkov, for example. Is it going to be the same in ZS2? Is my inventory size going to stay the same?
Yes. Okay.
When I pick up different backpacks, yeah.
No, we actually want to have even like the graphics essentially of your backpack and the size of the inventory. Yeah, they're gonna be different.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so
awesome.
you will see essentially like a smaller backpack will have a smaller grid, but also kind of the frame around the inventory, the HUD.
Yeah.
Essentially, the UI element will be different. So you will graphically see like, oh yeah, this is the blue backpack, the small blue backpack versus the big camo backpack, and so on. We want to do that also for the containers. So when you're looting like a cabinet, for example, the grid is going to be more vertical looking, while like a big crate is going to have a more horizontal looking container.
Mm-hmm. That's really nice to hear for a loot goblin like me. I can't help myself. I have to keep looting and looting and looting. So another big feature that ZS1 didn't have is relics or artifacts. How are those gonna work? Can we talk about those a little bit? I don't really have like a specific question about them. I want kind of as much as I can get.
Yeah, so story-wise, there's quite a lot going on with Relics. We still are in the middle of thinking and prototyping some stuff, like gameplay-wise. But story-wise, essentially, they are something that happened between Sievert 1 and Sievert 2. They are like man-made artifacts, but they are every kind of faction has like their own kind of like version almost of them, and they all stem from a study essentially of what happened in Zyakov and the anomalies and the crystals, and so they come from there, and they are quite important in the development of the story essentially. And if during the campaign you will understand basically what they are and how they got made, and but basically they are items that gameplay wise they will offer you either passive or active abilities, but with a lot of drawbacks. You can have things like from like a passive ability standpoint, it could be like, oh, maybe it's just an object that when you die, you actually, after a few seconds, you come back to life, for example. That can be one relatively kind of simple kind of relic, or then you can have an active one where you can use it and you can maybe create an anomaly. You can spawn an anomaly, for example,
that's cool.
or you
That's
can do
sick.
like things like that.
Yeah.
But then you get as a drawback, if you start using it too much, the more you use it, the more you get like irradiated, or you get like a really bad status effect, or it can even blow up in your face, essentially.
Okay, that's awesome. That's really cool. I can't wait to play with that. Now I want to talk a little bit about the NPCs themselves. I mean, you guys are adding new enemies, new enemy types and stuff, but we're getting the old enemies, the bigs, the blinks, the ghouls, all that. Can you talk at all about any new enemy types? I guess I'll lump the bosses in with this too, because going back to what you said before about the new generation of people growing up in the zone.
Yeah, there is gonna be all new bosses, and some returns, and some bosses, some people that are related to other people, so we will expand the story essentially, even on that sense. And then as like enemies wise, we want to expand the roster of mutants and weird creatures, and we want to go a little bit more out there with those as well, and have more variations.
Can you tell us anything about the Church of the Grieving Star? Those guys look weird. They look creepy.
Yes.
They look appropriately culty and interesting.
Yes. Yeah, this is a thing that we will... I mean, Sievert 1 has this aspect that the game doesn't explain much to you. So you kind of have to have your own headcanon for many things. And I quite like how, at some point, like the game looks fairly normal, but then you end up with the Watchers and the deity and all this stuff, right? And we want to kind of expand on that. So essentially, the church is something that during these years between Sievert 1 and Sievert 2, someone created, and so there is this like reverend figure that basically created this new faction that has ties to the Watchers and to other kind of things that happen in Sievert 1. They are slowly taking over ᴍᴏ. That is the state of ᴍᴏ. Essentially, there's this new kind of new faction that has been gaining consensus and power. They are also obviously like they have an armed force as well. So they will be one of the factions that have this kind of cultish-ish kind of roster of enemies.
Yeah. With Sievert 1, later after 1.0, we started seeing some patches, including some like more interesting gear. We had a lot of guns and equipment and stuff, but then we saw things like the BBSH, the acid BBSH for the Rot King, and the special ammo, the chemical grenades. The industrial guy's gun. I forgot his name. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. But we started to see some more. Yeah, we started to see some more interesting gear. Can we expect to see something like that maybe from the church as well? Some like more kind of out there weapons and gear to use and acquire.
Yeah. So we do want to push the boundaries a little bit, but we know that we have a lot of fans that are very... It's the Tarkovs. I feel like Sievert has the audience is almost split. The community is between Stalker fans and Tarkov fans.
Yeah, there's a lot of overlap for sure.
Yeah. And so the people that come from Tarkov, they care more about the realistic guns and the sci-fi elements. I think we want to keep them to a level where it's kind of still kind of grounded sci-fi, so it's more like a prototype weapon rather than a space rifle, really.
Right. Yeah,
so we want still to keep things quite grounded. So yes, we will have some unique and kind of a prototypey and like a more kind of a advanced kind of weapons. But I feel like this is also where the relics can offer like a good separation of where basically you stay grounded, very grounded with the guns, but then you can go a little bit out there with the relic system.
Yeah, you can kind of augment your abilities with the relics and while using the grounded kind of more realistic guns. I get that. Yeah, that's cool. In terms of cosmetics came up. I noticed in the trailer, I mean, I saw some little like spray paint cans, and I think, well, you were able to put camos on your guns and stuff. Will we be able to put cosmetics and change up the look of our character besides like the backpack they're wearing and the armor and that kind of stuff?
Yes. So you have essentially three, let's say, body slots. So you have a helmet, headgear, let's call it, and then you have your torso, kind of upper body outfit, and then you have your lower body that's gonna cover both pants and boots in a way. So you will be able to mix and match those. So you can have the Green Army helmet with the a jacket from a bandit, and then so that already I think gives a lot more kind of choice from the first game that obviously has just like one kind of option.
one armor set, and that's kind of what you get.
And then on top of that, we do want to also have a degree of customization on top of that, essentially, where you can actually change the main side color essentially, and things like that. I still don't have the final system for that, but it's something I really want to do, so that people in multiplayer, they can go like, okay, I like the Green Army set, but I want that to be, I don't know, black and yellow instead of green, for example.
Oh, that's sick. Yeah, you can really make it yourself, really personalize it. Any movement changes coming with player characters? Like, can we jump? Can we dodge roll? Do stuff like that?
At the moment, we have the kind of the basic movement set of the original game. We are gonna take some time to prototype some more stuff. We are thinking like maybe like a cover system of some sort, either something as straightforward as something like Dakov, or a little bit more kind of more involved. That could be an option.
Because
probably
like
not.
Movement was like a big, it's actually movement is really important in ZS1. I mean, I hate taking the bigger backpacks that slow you down. I can't stand it. I have to be able to like stay mobile and stuff, and like I like the idea of having like at least a dodge roll, so I can be, I can dodge bullets a little bit better or whatever. Yeah,
we need to try like different things. At the moment, we'll start with the basic kind of a movement set of Sievert 1. But we'll definitely listen to the community, and there are a few things that I want to explore, because obviously we have a 3D kind of environment, so it would be nice to at least have maybe something like vaulting or jumping in a limited kind of way.
Yeah. How about mod support? I mean, we've talked a little bit about that before. And like the AMA, we're getting mod support at launch.
Yes, we are getting mod support even before launch, as in even during early access, we may at least start I think during early access, it will be important for us to understand what the community really needs to mod the game.
Okay.
We want to, it's a trade-off between security and like modability with mods. So we are using Unreal, and so the gameplay code is essentially split in two systems. When you do like a game in Unreal, there is the native code that is C++, and it just runs in your machine and can do whatever. And then there is the scripting layer that Unreal uses, that's called the blueprint. Which is safer because it's kind of sandboxed inside the game. So we will definitely allow that part of like the scripting language, essentially a blueprint, to be like available to modders. And we are thinking essentially of doing something similar to what actually Stalker, the Stalker developers did with that game, where they released a fork of essentially the Unreal Engine editor with their own tools and everything. So people will be able to create their own maps, create their own weapons, their own characters and whatnot directly. But the trade-off will be that probably only specific, like verified modders will have access to adding like C++ code to the game. That is basically to avoid the situation where people can inject the game with malware and stuff like that. Because it's quite common on Steam to do that. We actually we continuously ban mods that are a bit sketchy ourselves on Zero Sievert as well. I've seen some crazy stuff. I know that the Dakov basically allows you to it's great that you can just do whatever you want with the mods, but at the same time basically you can run DLLs on
they can do some nefarious nefarious things. We don't want that.
So it's that trade-off, but we want to allow people to basically do, I want to say, like 90% of what we do on the development.
That's
side.
sick. I love that. That's another feature people were very, very hungry for ZS1. Modding. I can't wait for modding. And I'm really glad to hear that. That's like, man, people are going to be able to create their own maps. That's really sick. A couple more questions. Platform. Somebody asked me about Mac. I don't know on the development side. I have no clue how that works. But we got some Mac gamers in my community. Like Steam Deck as well, console. What are your plans for like platform releases?
We definitely want to look at consoles at some point. Consoles, like essentially, I think you can release technically on early access on Xbox. I don't think PlayStation, Sony, I don't think that they allow. They don't have an early access plan as far as I know of. But probably what will happen is that we will look at consoles and release on consoles for the full release. But if there is enough we will definitely look at that like before that. We will support Steam Deck out of the box as well, though. That's something that is a fairly high priority for us. So Steam Deck is almost it's going to be our kind of base case of the platform where we are gonna test gamepad support, usability of playing on a kind of handheld kind of format. So the scale of the UI and whatnot. So I think it's quite good to have like a benchmark for that, or like a base platform. So for that kind of stuff. Because then it will allow us to easily do like a Switch 2 version, for example, as well. Okay, awesome.
So I guess we don't have any dates for early access or full release. Nothing there yet. But last question: do we have a price for the game yet? I mean, that's something that comes up a lot. We've got a lot of questions about that.
Yeah, this one is on Motherwolf really to decide. That this is like something that is more on the kind of the publishing side rather than on the development. I think it will be still kind of in the range of what they did with Zero Sievert 1 essentially. And we want to be fair. I know that Motherwolf wants to have a look specifically at regional pricing to make sure that people pay fairly depending on their kind of market and their kind of country, rather than just have a blanket kind of a conversion of prices that often people kind of do. There are regions where things games are like super expensive normally if you don't if you translate one-to-one to I don't know, from dollars to things like in Brazil, for example, like people get screwed over quite often because things get praised. So we want to have a look at that specifically. And price-wise, I think it will be very similar to Sievert 1.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, that's it. I don't really have any more questions for you today. Is there anything else that you would like to share about the game? And I mean, I wish I had more specific questions to ask, but like any other tidbits that you can like just tell us and tell the community, just like in the lead up to the demo, I guess.
We just started doing, and I'm quite excited, is this kind of a dev diary / like community updates that we are doing with ᴍᴏ. And it was it's very nice to see that kind of the interest of the Sievert community on things that are like a little bit more kind of sometimes niche and technical, like about the game. So we are super glad that those are getting like very kind of well received, and we do have now another channel specifically for that kind of content. So I really want to take some time to do some kind of more game developer life kind of type of content in the Underdog channel specifically. I'm preparing the script for a video that talks. For example, about specifically about a real engine, and because there is I want to say a deserved, but also sometimes not deserved kind of stigma around Unreal like these days. I've been using Unreals for more than a decade now, like from Unreal 3.5 to 4 to 5. Yeah. And in many titles, probably one thing I will publish hopefully soon is like a little chat about that kind of thing and why we picked it for Sievert 2 as well, and how the engine can actually scale up and down depending on the needs, because everyone goes like, as soon as nowadays you start talking about Unreal, people go like, oh my god, like Nanite and Lumen.
There's a stigma out there. People talk about it and like, it's a stuttery mess. I don't know.
Which is it's kind of true. I have to say that it is.
There's a little shred of truth in there, yeah.
Yes, it's. I think that it's a mixed bag of some things are just the kind of myths that got kind of created, and some things that definitely have some truth behind it. It's definitely something that Unreal is a mixed bag. Unreal 5. But at the same time, it's a insanely like powerful engine, and the fact that you have the source code that you can modify the engine however you like, you can strip it down to the bare essentials.
That's really cool. Well, I'm going to be leaving links to all of that stuff for you guys watching. Make sure to check the description if you want to get to Underdog's YouTube channel, and then also the official Sievert channel for all of that, like development stuff. But that's pretty much it, Peppo. I don't have any more questions for you. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule. I know you guys are working very hard on the game right now, and I do really appreciate you taking a little bit of time to share this information with me. Thank you so much.
Thanks to you. It was great.
All right, there it is, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Some interesting information in there. Unfortunately, we don't have any solid release dates yet, and we don't have a price either, but we can look forward to maybe playing a demo soon-ish. Peppo's words. Again, I do want to say thank you to Peppo and Underdog for giving me the time to do this interview. Again, I will leave the links to their YouTube channel and the official Sievert channel in the description for you guys to check out. And of course, I will be covering any videos that they decide to publish about development, or any trailers or devlog or bunker update videos, anything like that. I will be covering it on my channel, so make sure you get subbed up to my channel as well. That's going to be it for this one, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you. Like the video if you did enjoy it, subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video.